All right, guys, welcome to a project that we just acquired. Now, for a reason, I have not done any videos on these type of subjects. And when I say subject, I mean subject to. So we bought this house subject to, which means we bought it subject to the existing finances. So let me run you through the scenario. Couple calls, they're going through a divorce. The wife is pregnant and they want to sell this house, but it's in disrepairs. They cannot put it in the market. Disrepairs, I mean a lot. Things need to be fixed. Currently this house, great neighborhood. I used to cut through this neighborhood every day to go to high school. This house, as it sits, fixed up, is probably worth $210,000 easily. It's a one-level house, 2 garage, I believe it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, I believe. So a nice size house in a cul-de-sac with some of the best school districts around. Now, what we're able to work out with this homeowner is that they wanted to walk away with some money, and we were able to provide that for them. We agreed on giving them $25,000 at closing and essentially taking over, but really just being responsible for the mortgage payments. Now, the balance left on the loan was $108,000 total. That's what's left. So everything with closing fee and everything, I have the HUD pulled up here. I paid out of pocket $26,769.60. So let's keep it round. $26,769 is what came out of my pocket to take over this house that's worth $210,000 with only a loan balance of $108,000. So from there, all we have to do is pay the $965 each month, which is PITI, which means principal, interest, taxes, and insurance on this property only cost us $965. Now in this neighborhood, this house fixed up easily goes for $1,500 a month. But I may have different plans for this property. I'm not yet sure. I can easily fix this up with another maybe $20,000, if that. Probably not 20, probably about 15,000 max, and turn around and sell this and put this house on the market for $210 and get it in no time, because it's such a great neighborhood, great school district and everything. So I'm gonna take you inside, show you what this property looks like, and show you kind of how we had to negotiate this one in order to get it. Now, another thing with this property, we have several different exit strategies. And in order, I'm not telling you exactly how to do a subject to, but essentially what we bought this property, we bought it in a trust. And we kept it in a trust because we do not want to do a couple things. There's this clause called a due on sale clause, that if the property is transferred while it has a mortgage on it, the mortgagor has the right to ask for the property to be paid off immediately. So there's a lot of things involved with this. I get all my information, I've been learned. I went to seminars for Tony Robinson Sr. He's a master when it comes to this. So if you've been to one of his seminars, I went to his seminar in Charlotte, and I learned everything about sub-twos, and you can probably go to one of those things and learn yourself. It's important to do this correctly, because if you don't, you can end up in a lawsuit, and there's a lot of variables down the road as you hold on to these properties. So one way to exit this is simply fix it up, right? I can have my $26,000 in it, put another 15 in it. I could be in this whole property for maybe $35,000, $40,000 and collect $1,400 a month and cash flow somewhere around $400 or $500 every single month, right? You can't beat that. You can't invest $40,000 and cash flow $500 every single month in a positive. So let me take you inside, show you what the house looked like, the condition, and kind of how we had to do some of the negotiation in order to get this one done. And it was a win-win situation. They were already 3 months behind on the mortgage. So when I paid them the $25,000 plus the closing cost of 26, the number, whatever I said before, I also had to go to the bank and pay $6,000 immediately to catch them up so that we continue to make payments. So come inside, I want to show you inside. All right, so keep in mind, this property would not be listed by a realtor. They just couldn't do it. But it's a beautiful house, solid bones, just doesn't have any flooring down. But they do have the flooring in the corner, and they started in one of the rooms, but I don't know if I'll keep it. So as I walk through it, you can see they had all different types of paints. They had holes everywhere in the wall. The colors are just crazy, but I'm gonna take you through room by room so you can kind of see. There's just simple stuff that was just crazy. Holes in the walls. And as you see, we started doing work already. You have a full bathroom here that is shared between these two rooms. Nothing you've never seen before. And you can see the floor kind of looks good. Actually, the more I look at it, I do like it. And then we have the other 500, 600 square feet left in this room that they left for us. If you can look here, you can see everything is kind of just in big disrepair. Now for my team and I, this cost us maybe $15,000. Decent cabinets, gonna keep those, change out the countertops, go with granite because you're in the price range above 180, 185. So you're gonna need to replace these granite countertops. I have a great granite guy that can get these to me. So let's head on over to the master bedroom. Master bedroom also does not have any flooring. So this is something that a realtor would not touch at all. But the good thing is we have vaulted ceilings, which just adds a little value and character to the property, but nothing spectacular. Now as we move into the bathroom, it has a linen closet, has a double vanity, has a jetted tub, a stand-up shower, and your closet is gonna be through here as well. Not a huge, huge closet, but it's pretty big for this size house. So as you can see, everything needed to be fixed, and there was so much junk. They left so much things in here. The lady was 8 months pregnant, so being able to just tell her to walk away from the property without only taking the things she wants while she's going through a divorce during Christmas was so much. So we were the problem solvers for her, and it didn't work for a subject. Well, it did work for a subject to, wouldn't have worked for an actual just regular assignment. Another cool thing about this property, 2-car garage. It's huge, full of junk, but it's huge. So if you look here, this is kind of the convenience and the problem solving that we offer is, hey, look, you don't have to take anything you don't want, leave it. As you see out front, maybe we have a huge dumpster out there, and that's just part of the business that we're in, solving problems. Now, one more feature that I really, really love about this house that I know is gonna help with the resale value if that's the direction I decide to go, it's also gonna attract real high-end clients, is the back door. So let me just, not the back door, but the back. All right, so now that we're outside, you can look, the entire yard is fenced. It's fenced, that means it's great for family that has dogs, kids, anybody. It gives you that extra privacy, and it's probably one of the bigger lots actually in this cul-de-sac and kind of in this neighborhood. The entire thing is fenced. And here's the great thing, guys. Not every property you run across is gonna fit in the wholesale model. And the reason for me doing this video is not really to teach you subject to. You have great people that know about this that you can learn from. The point of this video is to show you that you need to add tools to your tool belt. Because most people, a realtor would have walked away from listing this, a wholesaler would have walked away because it doesn't make sense. But as you wholesale your way and you make money, this is a perfect property for you to go and make a sub 2, and you can cash flow $500 a month at least, if you just do the minimum amount of work needed to get this thing right. So this is why I've been holding out doing a video on subject 2, but I'm glad I finally did it. So here goes this property. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'll update you guys as we go along, but this is a subject 2. All right, everyone. So now that you have seen the actual subject 2 deal, I kind of broke it down at the house. I wanted to bring you inside this room here so I can show you kind of my thought process going into this. Now let's set this scenario. Lady calls, she wants to sell her house. We go out to the property and we see that it's in pretty big disrepair. It needs a lot of work. She can't list it. She's going through a divorce and she needs to move fast. So we quickly ruled out, after doing the numbers right there on the spot, that this is not going to be an actual wholesale deal. And let me jump over to the computer and show you exactly why and what it makes sense for. So let's just say it's 123 Main Street. And let's get the numbers. I'm going to get my calculator out so I can follow along with you guys. Okay, here we go. So let's just say this house is a $200,000 house. And we know a traditional wholesale deal, you're going to minus 30%. So 200,000 minus your 30%, which is in this market. Now it could be different in your market, all types of stuff. So that's going to say minus 60,000. So minus 60,000 is going to leave you with 140. So now you got 140,000, right? And Obviously, you're going to minus your repairs. Now, for us, we can get that done for about $15,000. For somebody else, that's going to be somewhere around probably, let's just say $20,000 to be smooth, right? So right now you're at 120. Okay, so now we have $120,000 in this property. This is what this property is just to repairs. So you have $200,000 house minus 30%, which was what makes it a deal. You can say 60, 70%, whatever it is. I just take away 30%, which is the same as multiplying it by 70. That's going to give you the 140, right? So then you have the 140, you're going to minus your repairs of $20,000. That's going to leave you at 120. Now, right here is where a actual, flipper can buy it and still make a decent amount of money. But since you're wanting to wholesale the deal, you're going to minus, let's just say you want your fee to be $10,000, right? So now you're sitting at $110,000, right? So this is where you need to be. This is where you need to be. All of these are things you're minusing right here, right? So out here, you're going to have, this is your 30%. This is going to be your repairs, right? And that's going to be your fee. After all that, you're at 110. Now, keep in mind, they had a loan balance of $108,000. And I can pull up the HUD here. We'll show the HUD here in a second. They had a loan balance of around $108,000, and they needed to walk away with money. They was going through a divorce. She was pregnant. It's around Christmas. You can't leave her. She needs help, right? So we agreed to give them $25,000. Now we asked them, is it important that the loan is paid off right now? No, they don't care. They can't afford the house. They were 3 months behind, which is roughly, with everything else, was around $6,000. I won't show you that because I'll show it to you on the HUD. So now we're at 110. So the max I can offer was 110 on this deal. I can't give you 110 because that's only going to give her $2,000, and she needed a car. She was pregnant. She was going through a divorce. She was 8 months pregnant too. So she was getting ready to have the baby. I couldn't do that to her. Deal wouldn't work for her. The real estate agent wouldn't list it. It was in disrepair, and they needed to move fast because they was in very danger of losing their house to foreclosure. So let me break down what happened on the HUD. Since we couldn't do that, we're going to move over to the HUD. So here is an actual HUD of this actual wholesale deal. Now I marked out some important information like the loan number, who the seller is, what trust we bought it in. You don't need to know all that stuff. It's not important to the deal. Okay. So essentially the contract price is going to be the existing mortgage plus what the existing mortgage plus what was actually owed on the property back, plus what they owed, plus what they wanted in actual take home money. So you add all that up, that's 140 basically. Then you have your settlement charges from the attorney. So we're gonna go down here. So if you look at line 203, line 203 is what the mortgage balance was at the date we closed, was $108,057.88. Now, seller mortgage credit was what was owed. This right here is what was, there were months behind on this, right? So if you look at this, if you look at the cash from buyer line 303, this is what I had to bring to closing, the $25,000 plus the $1,769, which is what is the fees on the property. Now, if you look over here, cash to seller on line 603, you see that they walked away with $25,000. So here's what happened. We were able to take over a house that is worth, we've got 200,000. It's probably around 205, 210 by the time you fix it up. We're able to get into that property for $26,000. Plus we had to go to the bank. You see up there is Wells Fargo. We had to go to Wells Fargo and make this payment for them of $6,000. So $26,769 plus, let's just say $6,000 would be easy. I'm in it for $32,769. My team could fix this property up for around $15,000. So $15,000. So I'm all in it for $47,669. $769. So let's erase this right here, because this don't even matter, right? So let's go over here and let's just say I list the house at 205. And let's just say I get 205, right? I'm in it. So I'm going to go all the way down here and say I am in the property for $47,769, right? And this thing will take me less than a month to flip. If I add the PITI, which I told you about, PITI, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, is about, I think it was $965. I could be wrong, but now I'm just giving you numbers. So $965 a month is what the mortgage payment was. I'm in it for 47, right? So let's just look at here. Let's just say we sell for 205. And let's just say you want to do a flip on this project. You and your buddies have you wholesale a few deals. You're in it for 47, right? You've been doing good wholesaling. Now you're going to take away 205. Just say we take away, I list my properties at 5%. So that's minus, it was like 10,000. Let's just do it again. 205 minus 5%. That's minus 10,250, right? And that is fee, right? And then we're going to minus out what we've got into the property, which is $47,769. I promise I'll have something better than this. This is the cash up front, right? So these are all minuses, right? Then I can repair this property for around $15,000. Right? And then let's just say we have $1,000 in payments, PITI. Right? So with all of that being said, minus 47,769 minus the 15,000 minus $1,000 minus the balance when we paid that 600. So when we caught the payments up, the balance was 108. When we caught the payments up, a lot of it went to the rares and then some fees and some late payments. The loan balance was 106. So let's just say we kept everything fine. So 106. That's the loan balance. PITI. So you're going to minus $106,000. Leaves us $24,981. So that would be what the profit is on this flip in less than a month. That's great. Now, the other thing you can do with this property is instead of actually going and repairing this property, you can still repair. You're going to put the 15,000 into it. Now you're going to get into something where, now this is a flip example. So this is all for a flip, right? So take a screenshot there. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like real simply if you just kept the property, right? So you have that $47,000. I forget what. Yeah, you have a certain amount of money in the flip and the repairs, right? Sorry, you have the repairs and you have actually buying the money you had to pay up front, the $25,000 plus the closing fee. Now that area is easily going to rent for $1,500 a month. Now the PITI on this property, which is the mortgage, is $965 each month, right? So for $1,500 minus $965, you're going to be cash flowing somewhere around $535 every single month, right? Times 12 months in the year, you're going to get $6,420 each year on this property if you just kept it as a rental. So my point with being able to learn subject twos and everything is that you're going to be able to have different exit strategies. Obviously, you need some capital in the bank. Now, there are some examples where you can take over a property and you don't have to give the $25,000. We've done that as well, but there are examples that you could actually just not pay anything and get into the property itself. Now, like I said, this is a very, very complex way of doing it. There's much more paperwork involved than just doing a simple buy, than doing a simple wholesale deal. Like I said, I've learned from somebody, the greatest in this game, Mr. Robinson, on this, learning how to do this. And I went to his class in DC, and pretty sure he's going to have much classes across the year. But this is something that you can do that will add this wealth. So not only you're going to get, if you go back to the example here on the screen, not only are you going to get $6,000 every single month, right? I mean, year, if you times that times 5, between 5 and 6 years, you're going to be pretty much almost at the money you have in it. But not only that, you own a property that the loan is only $108,000 on, $106 after you paid that, and it's worth $205. So you essentially took $40,000 or so, and you've invested that $40,000. You created $100,000. You created $100,000 in equity, and you're cash flowing $500 every month. Now, I don't have a calculator. I'm not the smartest with math, but if you put that in a return on investment, it's way out the roof. And that's the wealth building practices, not only including like owning the property, getting to get the tax benefits of doing depreciation on the property. So you're going to get real income. You've increased your net worth by $100,000 in equity, really 200 because that's what the house is worth, but 100 is what you don't owe on it. And then you're creating this cash flow each month. And then you have this phantom expense of doing deductions of depreciation on a property, and boom, there you go. That's why people get wealthy doing other investments. But don't use subject to as an excuse to not knowing how to wholesale. You still have to have that pipeline of leads coming in, which is important. And then as the deals come to you, instead of turning these ones away, then you learn how to use the different tools in your tool belt. And that's why education comes in very important. So I hope breaking down what subject to is and what it does and how to see it, you can actually see what it is. Now you don't really have to wonder what it is. And when you get to that point in your investing career, you know how to actually do it and what it is. But you need to go get education so you don't get your butt in trouble and get sued, because there's so many variables that can happen to this, such as the homeowner can call you in 5 years and say, hey, I'm at the car dealership. This is what Mr. Robinson, I'm at the car dealership. I'm trying to get this new Yukon. They say, I got a loan in my name. I want you to sell this house, or I want you to pay that loan off so I can go get this Yukon. There's a bunch of scary things that can happen with this. But if you have the right paperwork and if you know how to set the expectation with the sellers of what you're actually doing and you're upfront and honest with them, you can use this and acquire so many doors at a very, very cheap way. So I hope this has helped explaining subject to and kind of how to do it, and you get the gist of it. Obviously, you go get your education. Like I keep saying, education, and push forward, because I promise this is something that is going to, when you add it to your tool belt, it allowed you to convert deals that weren't deals as wholesale deals into other things. So I hope this helped. If you're still watching, please subscribe, share this video with somebody else that's wondering what a sub to is. Give me the thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and I appreciate you guys always, and I'll see you later. Peace.